With the release of Wind and Truth coming closer and closer by the day, I want to build as much hype and excitement for the mid-series finale of the Stormlight Archive. I spend a lot of my time discussing these books each week on the Lost in Roshar podcast and have a blast doing it. At the same time, I acknowledge not everyone has the time for deep dives and silly tangents.
Well, the cool thing is it can kind of be like Eddie Murphy in some of his movies where Henry Cavill plays every character, including like Lift and Shalon, and it's just Henry Cavill cloned with AI.
Maybe it's Sanderson playing all the characters and they just...
Oh my god!
So, with that in mind, I thought I'd share some of my favourite Easter eggs and tidbits from the Stormlight Archive. The more well-known these become in the fandom, the more fun we'll all have diving into Book 5 and theorising for the rest of the series. So without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1. The blurbs on the back of the books are written by the Sleepless. Yep, drag out your physical copies now because this one is a bit of a mindbender. The blurbs to all 4 books are written by the Sleepless. Forgotten what those are? Remember the creepy Kremling army that can seemingly morph into humans at will? Yeah, they are watching our main characters closely, and reading these blurbs hit completely differently once you learn this information. The Sleepless are probably what I'm most obsessed with in the Stormlight Archive, and I'm currently working on a video that will leave fellow Kremling fans satisfied. Number 2. No Spren are seen in the prelude to the Stormlight Archive. When you pick up the Way of Kings for the first time, it feels like you're holding on to any familiar word in your native language, desperately trying to follow who, when, where, and when this is all happening. Which explains perfectly why I did not realize until my reread on the podcast there are no Spren in the first chapter of the series. Think about how much love and hate Spren get from readers. It is often a criticism that there are too many Spren in any given scene. This makes it even more stunning to me to notice their absence in the prelude, where there is so much death and destruction displayed, anguish and turmoil from the heralds, as well as perhaps the greatest turning point in Roshar's history. This is definitely not a misstep by Sanderson. This is significant. Perhaps this gives us further evidence that the Oath Pact was abandoned in Shinovar, hence the remaining honor blades being possessed in the region. Interesting when we're going there in Wind and Truth. Number 3. Cultivation has influenced 3 of our main characters. At a first glance, this is completely obvious. We all know that cultivation has spoken to Lift, Dalinar, and Taravangian, but it's not until you examine this further until certain questions begin to pop up. If I was to ask you about the main shards of the Stormlight Archive, you'd most likely answer Honor and Odium. At least I would. These 2 have been center stage for the whole series, and Honor isn't even around anymore. This begs the question, is cultivation a pacifist, or is she planting seeds, or to use the better term, cultivating her future plans in the shadows? Was Taravangian becoming Odium part of a long game that began with his visit with cultivation? Is Dalinar being his ultimate foe somehow influenced by this? And is Lift's ability to use Lifelight the key to a world without Stormlight in books 6 to 10? It's a theory that I've always enjoyed and perhaps allows for a stronger focus on the Shard who has had the least attention thus far. So there you have it, 3 rapid fire Easter eggs and secrets from the Stormlight Archive. Please treat this video as a proof of concept, as I'd like to experiment with shorter, snappier Stormlight videos. If you'd like to see more of these or have any secrets of your own that you'd like me to include in the future, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and remember, there's always another secret.